Coming up tonight, what will Malaysia's Prime Minister Muhyiddin do? His allies have advised him to resign. What went wrong for Joseph Schooling? The Olympic champion will not be defending the medal he won in Rio. And it was also not to be for Yu Meng-yu, the Singapore paddler losing the bronze medal match in table tennis. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. Good evening, I'm Chow Suen. Now there's drama across the causeway. Malaysia's Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has had a difficult few months. And he has now been advised to resign by allies in his Perikatan Nasional government after a stunning rebuke earlier today by the King, Sultan Abdullah Ahmad Shah. The palace issued a statement insisting the king did not consent to the government's unilateral move to revoke orders that the ruler had earlier approved during the 7-month emergency, which expires on Sunday. The Straits Times understands that UMNO ministers who have remained steadfast to Mr. Muhyiddin have told the Premier his grip on power has been shaken by the discord with the palace. A source with knowledge of the day's discussions told ST, PM was told the situation has become too chaotic and untenable. It is not known how Mr. Muhyiddin will respond to the demands. Parliament's sitting has been adjourned until Monday as COVID-19 tests are conducted. Our Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teo joins us now from Kuala Lumpur. Hi Shannon, so how likely is Muhyiddin to take the advice from his allies and resign?
Well, not looking very likely because he seems to be doubling down on his position, which is that the Agong or the King of Malaysia must take the advice of the government. So he issued a pretty long statement, a 4-page statement this evening, detailing the chronology of events, insisting that after the King said on the 24th that you must bring the ordinances to Parliament to be debated, the Prime Minister is saying now that on the 27th, we had another audience. And there we asserted our position to the King, which is that he must accept our advice, he must act in accordance to advice, and the Prime Minister is insisting that this is correct according to the Constitution. So, in short, the Prime Minister is saying, I'm right, the King is wrong, and we don't need to bring this to Parliament. So he is digging in his heels.
So what has the reaction on the ground been then to the drama in Parliament today?
Well, I can tell you that for the past, since lunchtime, the trending hashtag on Twitter in Malaysia has been Kerajaan Derhaka, which translates to treasonous government. So a lot of people are not happy with how this government has, acted in regards to this development. They want the government to respect the King's opinion and to bring the ordinances to be debated in Parliament. They are taking the ruler's side, whether it is the correct legal position or not. So the government right now is in a bit of a situation. On the one hand, it insists it's correct, but the public opinion doesn't seem to agree with them. So how they're going to proceed from today, that's going to be interesting in that there are a lot of statements out there from allies as well as opponents saying that the Prime Minister should resign. This move is erroneous. They've done things illegally. So there is going to be pressure, I think, even all the way over the weekend and up to next week. There's one more day of Parliament on Monday before we break till September. So we're going to expect fireworks next week.
So how will this political turmoil affect Malaysia's already turbulent COVID-19 strategy and economy, really?
Well, one thing that the government is insisting here is that they don't need the ordinances anymore, simply because the ordinances were promulgated to help fight COVID. Now they are saying we don't need them anymore because the vaccination program has been going well and we expect to be out of this crisis by the end of October. So that's why we can do away with it. Now, as long as there's no change in government and the government continues to operate as if today never happened, then the COVID response, both the economic and the health response, shouldn't be disturbed at all. Now, whether that's a good thing is up to public opinion, and we will know in hindsight, because a lot of people are suggesting that the government takes a different approach, but that's another story. So at this point, no impact. But if there is a change of government, if there is a reshuffle in cabinet, then we have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But you are right to suggest that things are a lot more unstable today than what it was when the emergency was going on for the past 7 months.
This has been ST's Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teo. Thank you, Shannon. Now, Joseph Schooling gave it his all, but it was not to be. His defense of the 100-meter butterfly title, won in Rio, is over. Competing in the heats tonight, the 2016 Olympic champion failed to qualify for the semi-finals in his pet event. Schooling clocked 53.12 seconds, coming in last in his heat. He was at a loss to explain what went wrong, saying it was definitely not a fitness issue, but that he felt off and flat before the race. Teammate Kwa Cheng Wen also missed the cut after he finished fourth in his heat. Posting on social media, Speaker of Parliament Tan Chuan Jin expressed his disappointment, but reminded us that at the end of the day, the most important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part, just as the most important thing in life is not the triumph, but the struggle. Meanwhile, there was more disappointment for Singapore. Peddler Yu Mengyu losing out on a bronze medal after she was defeated by Japan's Mima Ito by 4-1 in the women's singles. Sports correspondent David Lee telling us it was a hard-fought match, but it was not to be for the Singaporean.
Konnichiwa, we're at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium where national peddler Yu Mengyu has just lost her Tokyo 2020 women's singles bronze medal match against Japan's world number 2 Mima Ito, who was just too good with her wide variety of high-quality shots. It was a long shot to begin with for Mengyu, who is not only ranked much lower at world number 47, but she also had a thigh injury she sustained as early as the second round. Indeed, in this morning's semi-final loss to China's world number 1 Chen Meng, Mengyu had already felt that the injury worsened, but did not want the match to end with a withdrawal. We salute Mengyu's fighting spirit as the paddlers now turn their attention to the women's team event that starts on Sunday. Do continue to follow the Straits Times coverage of the Tokyo Olympics.
Taking a look at the daily COVID-19 numbers, 133 new cases were confirmed today. 129 of those locally transmitted and 4 imported. Of the local infections, 79 are linked to previous cases and 50 are currently unlinked. The Health Ministry is investigating a likely COVID-19 transmission at 3 Teck Whye Avenue and 357 Yong An Road after cases were found in several households in those areas. MOH will conduct mandatory testing for residents of the 2 blocks between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow. Pupils and staff of Punggol Primary School are undergoing mandatory swab tests today and tomorrow after a new cluster of 7 cases was linked to a cleaner at the school. The school will also switch to home-based learning from today until next Friday. The Education Ministry said a teacher and 2 students have tested positive, with investigations ongoing to see if these cases are linked. Village Hotel Sentosa has been added to the list of community care facilities operated by the Health Ministry. There are now 6 such facilities which can accommodate more than 5,000 patients. Health Minister Ong Ye Kung said that fully vaccinated people aged 45 to 59 who are infected with COVID-19 but with no or mild symptoms can be directly admitted to these facilities instead of hospitals. And it's been confirmed that Tuesday, August 10th will still be a school holiday despite the postponed National Day Parade. But schools won't be getting the day off on Monday after the August 21st parade. And the first customer to pick up his new Tesla Model 3 said he's most excited about not ever having to drive on the CTE, thanks to the car's self-driving capability. Accompanied by his family, Teng Po Yu was the first person to collect his new ride at Tesla's still unfinished showroom and service center in Toa Payoh Lorong 8 this morning. It comes 5 months after the American electric car company opened its sales portal here, and 5 years after founder Elon Musk started accepting worldwide pre-bookings for its most affordable car. And in the stock market today, bank shares jumped after the Monetary Authority of Singapore said it will lift dividend restrictions imposed during the pandemic last year. The reason? Well, it's because Singapore's economy is likely to continue on its recovery path. Now let's take a look. DBS, OCBC and UOB all getting a boost today. And they were the top 3 most heavily traded stocks in terms of value. Analysts are saying that dividend payouts for the 3 banks are expected to make a strong comeback this year due to their strong capital positions and improving economic outlook. And before we go, the past year or so has been a trying one for most of us, particularly our frontline workers who have been there behind the scenes keeping the country running. And in the lead up to National Day, they are remembered and celebrated in this very moving music video titled Singapore Stands By You, made in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth.
Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm a lot like you. When you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose, let me come along, 'cause even if you're wrong,
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you.
It's a really touching video and highlights not just how much our frontline friends do for the nation, but how we can step up to support them. I must admit, my eyes got a little bit damp watching it. And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Keep safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.